So we're going to talk about Deborah today, and she has to be one of the coolest women in the Bible. First of all, because that's my mom's name, so that automatically brings her to the top. She was one of the judges in the book of Judges, like the only female, so that automatically ranks her high in my book. She ruled under a palm tree. Okay. That in itself, let's just think about that. I don't know if there was an ocean nearby, but it says that she was a prophet who became a judge in Israel, and she would hold court under the palm of Deborah. So again, like, she's not in some building, she's not in some house, she's sitting under a palm tree to hold court. So that makes her, again, pretty cool. And so she comes after Ehud, who we talked about last time, and then after Shamgar as well, who we did not talk about, and I might do a little sneak peek of him. So she's like the third big judge in the book of Judges. So what makes Deborah, besides these other things, what makes her so cool? There's a guy named Sisera who was raining havoc on the Israelites. He says he has 900 iron chariots, and he ruthlessly oppressed the Israelites for 20 years. And so remember, I don't know if we talked about this, where the Israelites had, like, where they followed hard after Jesus and they kind of slipped off the horse, and then they were like, I'm sorry, will you take us back? And of course God does, like, he comes back. And so at this point, the Israelites have, again, after 20 years, cried out to God for help. And Deborah is sitting under the palm tree, and God gives her a vision. She goes, she sends for Barak, the son of, I can't even say his name. And she tells him, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, commands of you. Assemble 10,000 warriors from the tribes of Naphtali and Jebulun at Mount Tabor. I will lure Sisera, commander of the army, along with his chariots and warriors to the Kishon River, and then I will give you victory over him. So she is talking specifically to Barak and saying, this is what God has told me. So you need to go do this. And Barak looks at her and says, I'm not going unless you go. Like, here's a grown man, and he is saying he's not going to battle, even though he is assured of God's provision, unless a woman goes with him. Unless Deborah goes with him. He's like, And she goes, well, I guess I'll go with you, but you are not going to give, you're not going to receive honor for this battle. And so she says, for the Lord's victory over Sisera will be in the hands of a woman. Now, you cannot tell me that God does not care about women. Like, they are all over the Bible. The Old Testament, the New Testament, like, they all have incredible stories. And right here is one of them. So essentially, Barak and Deborah are going to Mount Tabor, where God said to meet them. And so the people they're fighting are at the bottom, and then they go to the top of the hill. And so at one point, Deborah says to Barak, this is verse 14, get ready. Today the Lord will give you victory over Sisera. The Lord is marching ahead of you. And so he went down, it says down the slopes of Mount Tabor into battle. And when he attacked, the Lord threw Sisera and his chariots and warriors into a panic. And essentially the king of that army jumped off. It says he leapt down from his chariot and escaped on foot. So Barak chased the enemy in the chariots all the way back to where they came from, killing all of the warriors. So king of the battle disappeared, runs away. Great man leading the battle there. And so all the warriors died. Now, the army captain, Sisera, this is where a story gets really, again, we're talking about women in the Bible. This is another woman who, along with Deborah, it's just a cool story. So Sisera ran to the tent of Jael. And so Jael is the wife of a Kenite, and they were on friendly terms with this kingdom that he is protecting. And so Jael went out to meet him. So she is like, hey, come here, come to my tent, hang out here, take a nap, just relax, we'll take care of you. Don't be afraid. That's literally. So he went into her tent and she covered him with a blanket. And so she gave him something to drink, and then, hey, we got you. We're going to take care of you. So he fell asleep. He was obviously tired. He fell asleep, and Jael, being the crazy lady that she is, crazy cool, like hopefully we can all be as brave as Jael at one day. So he's asleep. She goes in and takes a freaking tent peg, like tent pegs, big tent pegs, and nails it into his head and kills the man. Like, at what point are you sleeping and you realize you have a peg being driven through your head is what I really want to know. At what point? So not only you got Deborah here, you've got Jael, who is actually the hero of the story, which going back to the beginning, because Barak wouldn't go without Deborah, excuse me, God said, well, you're not going to be the winner of the battle. Like, it's going to be a woman. The honor is going to go to a woman. And here's Jael pounding out the tent peg in the man's head. I don't know about y'all, but that's pretty cool. And so, so when Deborah said that the honor would go to a woman for winning the battle, the honor went to a woman, Jael, who totally did a brave thing and killed a man with a tent peg. Can we just talk about that? A tent peg. Women of that time, just as a side note, women of that time were responsible for pitching the tents. So she would have incredible agility and ability to do that quickly. So that's where just knowing a little bit of history makes that a little more believable instead of just this woman going crazy with a tent peg. Like, she probably, I mean, honestly, I said, how do you feel waking up to a tent peg? He probably had no idea. Like, it was so quick because I'm sure she was just that good at pitching a tent. But then after, so it says that Barak comes looking for him, and Jael goes, I got your man right here. And she just points him out. And so when Deborah says that the honor of winning the battle goes to a woman, that woman is Jael. She killed the commander of the army. And so Barak and Deborah go back and sing a song. So basically they go back and worship God. And you can read, that is all of chapter 5. So you can read the whole thing there. But Deborah, Jael, like the whole crew, in Judges 4 and 5, that's where you're going to find them, are incredibly cool. So hopefully you go read it today. Let me know if you notice anything different from where you're reading, any cool things, and we're going to keep, stay tuned for the next one.